Hi everybody, Theresa here. As promised, a little tutorial video on how to do an infill using the Lecenté Builder Gel. My nails here are 3 weeks old, so as you can see, it's definitely time for them to go. And here is everything that you're going to need to perform this infill, minus the colour, which we'll cover later. Okay, I'm going to take my 180 grit Lecenté file, and I'm going to reshape and refine the free edge. Please do note that this video is actually sped up. If only I really could file this fast, but I don't want to keep you here all day. I'm then going to take my Lecenté file and begin to blast through the colour, and then exposing the builder underneath, and begin to rebalance and reshape the builder. Now, in the early stages of filing, I like to use my 100 grit side of my file. This speeds up the process for me. But as I near the edges and get closer towards the natural nail plate, I will then flip over to the 180 grit side. Now, when I get even further and closer to the natural nail, I will then take my 240 grit file. Now, what I'm trying to achieve here is removal of about 70% of the current nail coating, so that I can reshape and rebalance it with my new builder layer. So as you'll see here, I took my 240 grit file because I'm now nearing the natural nail as I'm blending in that back edge. So now I have refined my previous builder, I'm now going to do my prep. So taking my Lecenté Cuticle tool, I will lift any of the non-living tissue from the nail plate using the scoop end, and then after that I will then take the chisel end and chisel away any of that non-living tissue. You will notice that I'm gently scooping round in circular motions to lift that tissue. I'm not pushing backwards and forwards. I'm scooping to enable this to be a very thorough service. When using the chisel end of your cuticle tool, try to keep the chisel parallel to the cuticle line. This will make it much easier to lift any of that non-living tissue, and will also prevent any nicks or tiny little abrasions caused by the very, very sharp chisel end. Pay special attention down the side walls of the nail. You'll be surprised as to how much non-living tissue actually accumulates down there. And if you have someone that's prone to lifting, or it's something that you see regularly in your service, this would be an area that I would have a look at and concentrate on. Lastly, nip any remaining stubborn tissue before thoroughly cleansing the nail with IPA. Be very thorough when cleansing the nail with IPA. Make sure you cover the entire nail surface, down the sides and around the free edge. I now like to file and shape my nail to the desired length and shape. You'll notice I'm just making some last tiny little adjustments on some little areas that I have spotted. Now I'm going to cleanse my nail, thoroughly cleansing the free edge, although I've now just spotted a last remaining little bit of pink. We'll just get rid of that. So thoroughly cleansing the entire nail, down the sides, the free edge, and very slightly under the free edge to remove any possible contaminants. So now taking my builder, I'm going to remove the product off of my brush and then go back in and pick up a small amount and then scrub that in across the entire nail surface, all the way over, no areas untouched, but leaving a free margin. I'm then going to smooth and glide this layer out. It's thin, but it's not too thin. There is still a layer there, so it's a nice self-leveled, smooth layer. So going back into my bottle, again removing the product from my brush, going back in and picking up a small amount of product on one side of my brush, and then going to lay and glide this layer out, smoothing it all over. I'm then going to go back to my bottle and picking up a similar sized amount as the previous coat on one side of my brush. I'm going to scoop it out and then place that product down onto where I would require my apex for the length and style of my nail. And I'm going to allow that to smooth and self-level out. Now I am a little impatient, so with the very, very tip of my brush, teasing it into place. Concentrate on that free edge. Make sure it is not too thin. Don't allow it to taper to nothing. You need it to be about a credit card size thickness. Now, although I'm very happy with this application, I'm still quite fussy and quite like to refine. So I'm removing the inhibition layer with IPA and taking my 180 to 40 grit file, I'm now going to gently refine this nail, smoothing out any imperfections that I find and keying the surface ready for colour. Now I could go straight in with Lecenté colour straight onto the inhibition layer if I wanted to, but as I say, I really like to refine the shape of this nail. I always like to check the nail from all angles to make sure that I have an even and nice shaped finish. I then like to take a 240 grit buffing block and refine the nail surface. Cleanse the nail with IPA, removing any small amounts of dust and making sure that our nail is ready for colour. So we're now going to create a quick mint opal nail, and this is what you will need. So take Mint to Be from the Just Desserts collection, remove your brush from the bottle and remove the product from the brush. And then go back in and pick up a small amount of product on the brush and begin to cap all of your free edge. Use the very tip of your brush to cap the free edge. Be sure not to get product underneath the nail. Go back into your bottle and pick up enough product on one side of your brush. Glide it onto the nail. Concentrate on your free margins and get the nail nice and neat. At this stage, don't worry about coverage. Now we have the nail neat and covered, go back in and pick up some more colour and glide that colour on for one coat coverage. Use long, flat, straight movements. Don't rush it. So nice, long, flat movements. My brush is gliding across the surface of the nail at all times. Next I'm going to take the Lecenté foil gel, removing all the product from my brush, go back in, collect a small amount and smooth across the surface of the nail, concentrating on nice free margins. This is a thin application. It will self-level and smooth itself out. Next I'm going to take the opalescent nail foil. I've cut off a small amount. I'm going to place it down, secure it through the centre and then take a lint wipe and buff it until I'm confident that the foil has adhered totally to the nail. I'm then going to take my Lecenté top coat, and with a small amount on my brush, I'm going to cap my free edge before then covering the entire nail. When using foils, please do be thorough with your top coat. Make sure that all of your edges are thoroughly covered and that you have a nice even coverage. This will prevent any chipping or peeling of your top coat from your foil. Cleanse the nail with IPA. Make sure you go over the entire nail, around the edges and your free edge. And lastly, apply your cuticle conditioner across the entire nail, all the way around the edges, and explain the importance of the aftercare to your client. For that photo ready finish, buff with a clean nail wipe, and this will bring the nail to a very high shine. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all very soon.